Expert telling us that a Knox County Sheriff's Office detective who gave anti-gay sermons in his role as a pastor could create a shakeup in the local court system.
Already we have seen a call for a review of every case he has touched. That detective, Grayson Fritz, also a pastor at All Scripture Baptist Church. Part of his message from the pulpit, quote, God has instilled the power of civil government to send the police in 2019 out to these, as he calls them, quote, LGBT freaks, and arrest them and have a trial for them. And if they are convicted, they are to be put to death.
Fritz is not on active duty with the sheriff's office, having put in for a voluntary buyout a couple weeks ago. As we showed you last night, Fritz was sticking by his message. Our top story tonight, WATE 6 on your side reporter Blake Stevens is here. He's in the studio. Blake, tell us about the review Fritz's sermons prompted.
Well, as you guys just mentioned, the district attorney's office is looking at pending cases involving him, and they're taking complaints about closed cases. LMU law professor Stuart Harris explains this all by using the O.J. Simpson trial as an example. There was evidence a key witness in that case, a detective, had used racial slurs in the past. Many of you remember that. The defense team used it against that detective. Harris believes because this anti-gay sentiment was not known about Detective Fritz, then a lot of those verdicts could be overturned. LMU law professor Stuart Harris believes words spoken from this pulpit could call into question many cases involving Knox County Detective Grayson Fritz, like those that involve a gay defendant.
There were many really objectionable things that this particular fellow said, referring to LGBT people as freaks, saying that they should be put to death, saying that he hates them and that other people should hate them too. How can such a person be trusted to treat all members of the community equally?
Detective Fritz telling us last night before church his work in the church and his work for Knox County are both separate.
If I worked at the Burger King and someone from the LGBT community came in and they ordered a hamburger, I would make them a hamburger because that was what my job would be. You understand? Even if I felt differently towards that person and felt exactly the way I feel and believe, I would still do my job. You know, I wouldn't purposefully try to damage their food or anything like that.
Stewart says that logic won't hold up in the eyes of a good defense attorney.
Yes, he has a First Amendment right to say what he wants to say. Yes, he has a First Amendment right to preach what he wants to preach. But the state can appropriately discipline people who act in ways that undermine the mission of the institution.
I learned a little more about the voluntary workforce reduction buyout program in the county. It's a way for the county to cut down on overhead. It offers employees of a certain age or with 15 years of service to take 3 months' pay and some benefits for the rest of the year and leave. Fritz turned in his application all before this all came to light. And guys, I'm learning that that program has nothing to do with any pension he may have already earned.
All right, Blake. Yep. Thank you so much. And as we mentioned, everyone, the district attorney's office is looking into pending cases and prior cases.
The public can also reach out to them. Complaints about closed criminal cases can be made by emailing dag@knoxcounty.org, or you could call 865-215-2515.
Now, Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs also weighing in, saying that since Fritz is not his employee, he can only give his personal thoughts on the issue.
Jacobs saying in a statement, quote, I find his comments to be extremely vile and reprehensible, and I strongly condemn threats of or calls for violence. He goes on to say, quote, on an official level, I have the utmost confidence that Sheriff Spangler, along with District Attorney Allen, will handle this issue in a professional and appropriate manner.